Hello and welcome, Nina. Thank you so much for joining myself. I am Maddie Kuhn, to anyone who doesn't know me, a homemade coach and nutritionist here at the Homemade Method. And this is Nina Baker. She is one of our members who's going to share her story today. I'm so excited for everyone to hear about the amazing results you've gotten through our programs and just starting to shift your mindset and reset your body so you can seriously change your life. Welcome, Nina. Say hi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hello,
Awesome.
everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. So first and foremost, I'd love for you just to share a little bit about your background, your story of finding Homemade, and when you joined us.
Okay. Background. I'm a grandmother, a mother, well, a Nana Nina, because that's just cute. And a grandmother of two, a mother of three. I'm a registered nurse. I live in Northern Ontario, Canada, so that's where it's kind of cold most of the time. What happened with me was surfing the, Facebook and that kind of thing, like us people do. And I come across the Homemade Method. So they have the free site, which most people know about, and I was on the free site for a long time, and I quite liked kind of what I was seeing there. And, you just click on those kind of videos and listen to Anna and the little bit of workshops that she does and everything. And it was quite resonating with me. And I was started on my path and my journey when I found that site. And it really solidified what I was doing. And then I got really curious. And I thought, I want to see what's more to this. There's more to this. And then I decided and I joined the 21 Reset. And then I've kept going since then. So I'm definitely in success now. So that's kind of the journey of how I got here. The curiosity, got me, and I just wanted more is what it was. Like the free site is very lovely and very appreciated. And it really did help me for a long time. But I just wanted that little bit more. And I have found that by jumping the fence, I call it,
Yeah.
over the members only side. So.
Awesome. Well, we're so happy you're with us. So you joined the 21-day Healthy Weight Reset in January, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so now it is June. You've been with us for 6 months. And I would love for you to chat just a little bit about when you first jumped into the 21-day reset. What was that experience like for you?
Well, I had already kind of been on the path with the influence of the free site already, right? So I had lost some weight already. I was a bit plateaued and I was kind of getting a little bit frustrated. And what happened was that's kind of probably why I got so curious, right? And I thought, I'm jumping onto the 21 reset. And I did lose, and I was plateaued. So I didn't have a huge weight loss, but I did have a weight loss, and it helped trigger me again to get going again. So I think our bodies kind of, they lose, they reset, then they lose, and they go back and forth, and then they lose, they kind of keep resetting themselves, right? And the 21 days reset kind of helped me jump back into that and get a little more focused and get going again. Because like to this date, I am up to 70 pounds lost.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Not all from January, I have to say, not all from January, but definitely with Homemade Methods influence and support prior to that too. It really a part of my journey for sure.
Well, you look
And
amazing.
it's continuing on to be.
Yeah, I love it. Well, you look amazing. I love that you've lost 70 pounds so far on your health and weight loss journey. I'd love to know just a little bit about like what your health goals were, prior to starting the program as well. What you were dealing with in terms of your blood numbers, if you're willing to share.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a registered nurse, so I obviously know what happens when you have a high blood sugar, when you have high blood pressure and cholesterol. I know where that path leads to. I have been a registered nurse for a lot of years, so I know. So my weight was high, my blood pressure. I was on a low dose of blood pressure medication. I went into the nurse practitioner knowing better, and she kind of said, you're pre-diabetic here, you're pre-cholesterol, we really should be starting you on some medication. So the aha, moment hit me, and I'm going, oh my goodness, I better get myself together get this train wreck under control here. So I said, I bargained with her not to go on any medication for 6 months. And then I would start to change those numbers. So that's when I knew I had to drastically do something. And that's how I kind of got started. So as of today, I don't have any blood pressure medication whatsoever. All my blood are normal. My blood sugars and my cholesterol are all at a normal level now. So that's very, very, very good. I'm very happy about that. So that's kind of how I got started with the aha moment, right? And I definitely knew I have to change a mindset. I definitely knew that. And that was my first thing of attack, was I've got to change my mindset, right? Because obviously things in the past have not worked that have stuck, obviously, right? And that's where I started, is changing that mindset. And then Homemade Method popped up in front of my face on Facebook. And I went, whoa, maybe that's a sign. And then I carried on with that, right? Like, so it really resonated with me. It just made sense to me.
I love it. I love that you're like, one of the focuses of your transformation was mindset, because that's something we focus on so heavily in the programs. Because it does really matter, right? The mindset you have towards your habits and whether that's cooking or eating or just how you treat your body in general, through sleep and stress, it all greatly impacts your blood numbers, your weight, and the habits that you carry every day. So
exactly, it certainly does. And so
yeah.
like the difference I found with this program is, so we've done millions of programs, and I'm sure anybody that's listening to this has done a ton of them, right?
Yeah.
Everything you can think of, crazy and not, right? But the difference I find with this program is that it builds capacity. So it builds skills so that you keep building on these skills. And it's a holistic approach, meaning that they do mind stuff, they do physical stuff. Like, there's all kinds of little things that they do, the yoga, all kinds of stuff that Anna puts on, like the videos and stuff. That makes it a holistic approach. So you're not just like a prescribed diet plan, right? That's
Absolutely.
the difference. That to me makes it sustainable. So that was a big, and I treat it like and you've heard me say this before too, is I treat this like a hobby. And the reason I do that, and that's part of the mindset, is because when you start a new hobby, you buy the new stuff, you research it, you put the time in, you enjoy it, you find fun stuff to do with it. And I thought, why can't cooking and eating healthy be like that? And if anybody sees my posts, they know I'm a plating Olympic contestant. I like to plate, and I buy new plates, and I buy new stuff, and I buy weird food and try to figure out what to do with it. That's part of my hobby. So that's my mindset, is what I'm treating it like. It's fun, and it is fun. And what happens is it does start to become fun, and it starts to just become what you do.
Absolutely. Well, it's creating a healthy habit it's creating a hobby out of a healthy habit that makes it enjoyable, makes it creative. I know you definitely have a creative streak in you, my dear. So it allows that to play out, and it also allows you to play with all your senses, right? When you're plating a beautiful plate of food, it not only looks delicious, but your body gets really excited about eating something that's nourishing and healthy, which is important, because I feel like so many people are like, I don't want to eat, eating healthy is boring or tasteless, or it doesn't appeal to me. And so it just kind of knocks those excuses out the door and makes it really fun and exciting to do, which is awesome.
For me, plating is a big deal. That's just part of me. But you don't have to plate. It's not for everybody, and it doesn't really matter. It's just what it does for me is it slows me down. I have to stop. I look, I appreciate it. I slow my eating down instead of just quickly putting it in, because that was part of my that kind of thing. So it's a tool that I use. Doesn't mean it's a tool that everybody needs to use, but it certainly is something that helps me. And that's kind of how I post a lot. Maybe a little too much, but it's okay.
It's great. Yeah. It's great. I love that you found a way to encourage yourself to be mindful about your eating habits, right? So by taking the time to plate your food carefully and thoughtfully, you are checking in with your body about what you need, and you're really learning how to listen to it, right? Because a lot of us move through life so quickly, and especially through our meals, where it's like just get food on a plate, whether it's because you're not eating soon enough and you're really hungry, or you're really tired, or you just simply don't have enough time to take the time to cook a healthy meal and sit down and eat it mindfully. It really does require that check-in that with your mind and your body, and that is what allows you to stop eating when you're satisfied, eat the foods that feel really good in your body, and enjoy it, right? It's so beautiful. I love that. I love that you found a way to make that happen in the program. So I do have a question about prior to joining the program that I'd love for you to answer is, what did your life look like prior to joining the 21-day healthy weight reset? Like, I know you've been into cooking for quite a while, like a lot of the people who join the program. I think we have like 70% people join who are like, I already know how to cook. I love to cook. This is old news for me. So I'd love to hear just a little bit about what life was like before.
Well, I mean, I was 70 pounds heavier. So of course there's a lot of habits there that were not good. They have to be, because how would you get that way, right? I would say because of the weight, because of, not feeling healthy, not on that path of mindfulness, I was probably a little depressed. I was low in energy, had a lot of pain in my knee, pain in my hip, feeling a little bit, almost a little bit hopeless, right? Like it's just frustrated, that kind of thing. So then what happens was I just kind of had that aha moment and just kind of, had to get started. So that's how I was prior to getting started. It was really, I was a train wreck is what I call it. I was a bit of a train wreck. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really common, is like you just get into these habits. You don't even know how they developed, even if you're cooking a lot. It's just like, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year of just slowly not taking care of yourself because you're focused on other things. And
Yeah.
I think the thing that you do really well is like you put effort in a little bit every day.
Yes.
And it can be challenging to get those wheels turning, but I think because it seems like so overwhelming at first, right, to make all these like massive changes to your life, but something that you do really well and that we promote in the program is just like small changes every day. It's all about hitting that consistency so you can like be the slow and steady turtle that wins the race, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I definitely think that's something you do really well. So
Yeah. And like, I mean, I've always, like I say, I've always been a cook, right? But like, I've always cooked in, like I canned and all kinds of stuff like that. And I know how to do it. But the difference is I really had to start to focus on what is the real health value of this? What is, like, I had to fine tune that. It's not, so the skills are easy for me, but I still had to work at the fine tuning of that. A healthy fat, a fiber, a protein, like I had to really be more conscious of that. And the quality of stuff, right? So that's where I changed a lot. Even though if you can already cook, right, you're gonna find that you're gonna fine tune that a lot. That's what I found. And
yeah.
some people don't cook, and it's like they'll just teach you. So it's great. They'll just teach you how to do it. So it's that's what I like about the program.
Yeah, definitely. And we have some people entering our programs at so many different levels, with different skill sets, different levels of cooking. And that's why we explain everything from A to Z. And so for some people, they're like, I already know how to do this. We're like, great, awesome, let's move you along. But yeah, you can join without even knowing how to cook an egg, and we will teach you how to do it. Wonderful. So just to reiterate your amazing results, you've lost 70 pounds to date,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
you feel like, I remember you saying this, like, I feel like I look normal. Like I can buy like normal clothes. And
Yep.
I love that. That was so like just incredible, just a wonderful aha moment.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I feel normal. I can go into a normal store now, like a regular store. And I bought a medium top for the first time. I really, really wanted to wear it inside out. So the medium tag just flapped around so everybody could see it.
Yes.
You know, I didn't, I controlled myself, but I really did want to do that. That kind of thing. Now I still wear some larges and, it depends on the clothes, right? But
Yeah.
it's say medium on the tag and I really did want to wear it inside out. So that, yes, I feel more, I am not thin in the sense of thin, I'm regular. I'm just a regular, 58-year-old woman, that kind of thing. I'm not no longer morbidly obese. I'm
Yes.
probably on the scale still obese. That's kind of how they do it, but no, I'm not. you
No.
know, it's pretty cool. Like,
Your before and after pictures are like pretty amazing. They're really beautiful to see because you can just tell like you're more confident in your skin, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
that is like everything we live for. It's just like to see our members, usually when they start, they don't want a single picture taken of them. And like they might even have trouble like finding a picture of them that they like and want to share. Just like this is where I'm at. And then, you know, you make strides towards your health and weight loss goals, you lose 70 pounds, and all of a sudden you're like, absolutely take a picture of me. Like, look,
yeah.
like I'm wearing a medium
Oh,
sized shirt. Check the tag.
yeah, well, yeah, inside out. Yeah, that picture that is on there was hard for. I had to crop somebody out of that because I don't really take pictures, right? When you're
Yeah.
big, and I had a hard time posting that.
Yeah.
I took a
I
long
know.
time to hit the post button. I kind of wrote it up and wrote it up and wrote it up, and then I hit the post button. But now I'm okay with it. Now I think, well, it's inspiring, hopefully for somebody else that it actually.
Absolutely.
Um, but yeah, sometimes I look
Absolutely.
at it just to reaffirm that it's actually true.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a whole different version of you that you're able to move and groove in now,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, um like I love what you said, you like go for walks. Like you live on a pretty big piece of property, right? Where you live, it's rather rural, and you go for tons of walks now, like have way less pain in your knees and your hips. Um, and you've brought down all your blood numbers too, which is incredible. So like now you get to go to your doctor's appointments and be like, we're good. I don't need that medication. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my mobility has increased a lot, and like I did move when moving, like they exercise as part of everybody's healthy regime. But I'm going to tell you, I wasn't any gym rat. I didn't, and that some people, if they can do that, that's more power to them. But I walk 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day. That's about it, really.
Yeah.
It's but it's pretty well every day. That's the trick,
Yes.
right? I walk
Consistent.
side dog every day. I have 200 acres and I have trails all through the 200 acres. And what was new for me though in the winter time, because the winter time's kind of a bit of a trap, right? I snowshoed. I started to snowshoe.
Yes.
Doing it like I'm just gonna do it, and I did,
I
and
love
that
that.
I
How
just started to think,
incredible. Would
yeah.
that have been anything you would have tried out prior to losing
So,
70 pounds? Yeah.
so
Okay.
no, nope, I wouldn't have.
And look
And
at
I hadn't
you.
lost all the weight when I started to do the snowshoeing, but I had lost a chunk. And I thought, I'm doing this. Like, I'm just going to do it because
Yes.
we live in Northern Ontario, so Canada. So, like, I mean, we get a lot of winter,
Yeah.
right? So, I didn't want it to deter me. And I had a young puppy driving me crazy. So, he's part of I
Oh,
had to
I
get him.
love it. Part of the
Yeah,
motivation. Oh,
yeah,
that's so
yeah,
beautiful. I love that you took up snowshoeing.
yeah.
I just like, I have to keep up my daily movement. Like, it's
Yeah.
snowing. What am I going to do? I'm going to put snowshoes on
Yeah.
and
I bought
just
him some
go.
Canadian Tire and away I went, right? Like,
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. That's so I love that you were just like wholeheartedly were like, I'm gonna try this new thing because I need to keep up my healthy habits. And
yeah,
like, because right, so many of us can get locked into like, well, there's an obstacle in my way, like I can't do what I normally do, right?
Right.
And I love that you just, buckled up, put on a helmet and said, nope, we're still doing this.
And I think a lot of my success is because of that, changing the mindset. Like I said, I had to
Yes.
change the mindset, right? Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Same with the food. You just
Yeah.
alter it. You just keep working at it, keep working at it, one of the funnest things I do is I buy weird stuff. I don't even know what they are, right? It looks weird and I don't even know what it is. I have to take a picture of the name and I bring it home and try to figure out what to do with it, right?
That's so great.
And it's kind of fun. Like sometimes it gets the garbage can funeral, I call it. And sometimes it's a new favorite. And like people
Yeah.
they go, oh, that's wasting. But it's a hobby. You
Yeah.
would do things in a hobby. Why would that, you spend money on a hobby, you spend money on buying something new, maybe you didn't like it, and so you tried to do something else, So what's the difference? I know it's
Yeah.
food, but
Yeah.
that's an old mindset. That's an old,
Yeah.
an old mindset type thing, like an old diet mindset, an old, you got to think differently. You want to be
Yes.
different, you got to think differently.
Absolutely. I love you mentioned that you used to love Big Macs, and
Oh,
yeah. And one of the things that you did once you started shifting the way you cooked and ate, you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to recreate this in a healthier way." And
yeah,
you created like a little Big Mac salad, right? With
yeah,
something.
that's one of them. Yeah.
I
I've
love that.
actually made a Big Mac too, right?
Yes. Yeah, of
Just
course.
at home one. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I do a Big Mac salad too. I like to recreate a lot of fast food. I had a real fast food addiction. I'm
Yes.
gonna say that had to be like I did,
Yeah.
um, and it was hard to give up. And I still like fast food once in a while, but it's very. I do the 80-20 rule, or really probably more 90-10 now
Yep.
rule. And I still eat. I had a Big Mac probably 2 weeks ago. I still have one once in a while, but they are not nearly as good as they used to be. They just your taste buds change, your mindset changes, your whole body changes,
Yep.
physically and mentally. And so I like to recreate fast food at home.
I love
It's
it.
yeah, like pizzas or Big Macs or
Yeah.
whatever.
French
Or fast
fries. French
food.
fries are delicious. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah,
Absolutely. Well, I love that. I love that you are, like absolutely not depriving yourself. If you want to eat some fast food, you go for it every now and again, but you're like,
yeah.
ah, man, that doesn't really hit the mark. So, when you do crave it, the majority of the time, you're going to recreate it at home in a more nourishing way, which is what we are all about.
It gives
Love
me
it.
I feel like a win. I get a win that way. I've created it.
Yes.
It's delicious. It's satisfying. And I did that. I didn't, have to pay for it. Well, I did have to pay for it through the food, but you know what I mean. I didn't have to
Yeah,
pay double the amount for it.
absolutely. Absolutely. So the next question I had was just like, do you run across any challenges or adversity you have to overcome, like in terms of getting results? Like you've gotten incredible results, but you know, everyone's journey is different. I'd love to just hear a little bit about that.
Well, I can tell you the struggle is real and it doesn't go away. Okay, it doesn't. I get fast food addiction was one of them, right? The not wanting the depression, the low mood, that's a struggle.
Yeah.
So trying to pull yourself up out of that, right? Like it's difficult. The struggle is real. The plateaus, the slow moving, the cravings, they're all there. They're all there. And you just as you go along, like those are all the struggles. Like I had them all. I have them all. I still have them all. The difference is they don't seem to be this big anymore. They're now a blip, right? That's the difference. So normally, like at the beginning, they seemed like they were 50 feet apart, and now it's like a blip, boop, boop, and then we carry on, right? So, like I had them all. Like I'm sure there was tears shed at some point. I'm sure I wanted to smash the scale with a hammer, like just all that kind of stuff, right? So it is real. It's all there, and yes, I did every one of them, and it's slow, and it was painful. It's painful when it's slow. It is, but what happens is you start to just accept that that's got to be the way it goes because otherwise you won't sustain it. I'm
Yeah.
plateaued now, and I'm okay with that because I know my body's kind of resetting and reshifting. I have another 10 pounds I'd like to lose. My original goal was 80. And my body's shifting and changing. And I need to, so I'm gearing up. I'm gearing up for the next bunch. And it'll just be slow and insidious. And before you know it, it happens.
I
Yeah.
love that. Your mindset's incredible because first and foremost, life happens. Like, right? You, even if you are making incredible strides, like you have made incredible results from your journey, right? You've reached, 70 pounds lost, you've reduced all your blood numbers, you've increased your mobility, you feel so much better. But like the struggle is real, and it does, like, life does present obstacles at every step of the way. It's still life, right? But what has shifted for you is your mindset is way more positive and way more resilient in terms of being like, I know I can get through this. I've got through it before. Like, I'm just gonna pick back up where I left off. Like, if I feel like like fell off the wagon, well, my next chance to do better is with the next meal. Um, and it's not just like the one thing tips you off and it's a downward spiral from there.
Yeah,
Because
before it would be weeks and weeks and weeks that you'd be derailed, right?
absolutely,
Now it's a day or a meal.
yeah,
That's the, I can still
yes,
have a day where I'm off the rails,
yes.
but it's a day now and not weeks and weeks and weeks,
Oh, that's
right?
so beautiful.
Or a meal or just one meal. I'm
Yeah.
just, I call it, I fell off the wagon and it circled around and ran over me. That's a whole day one,
Yes.
and it
Yes.
happens.
Yeah.
So what I like to do when that happens, though, is I really try to reflect the next day, because lots of times during it, I just can't. Like,
Yeah.
I am derailed, right? I reflect the next day and say, whoa, like what was going on? Like I try to really investigate what really was going on, what really was the triggers for that, that kind of thing. So right now, my focus is a lot on like, I was missing something. There was something I was missing in nutrition wise, is my thought. There's something I was missing nutrition wise, and my body was screaming out, and it was just going to any caveman. I call it a caveman, any caveman thing it could think of to get it right.
Yes. That is so
It
spot
could have been
on.
carbs. There's carbs and chips, and your caveman brain knows that.
Yeah.
So, but not the best one to pick. But that's my focus now that I'm trying to do. And I still have those days, and I will always.
Yes. Absolutely. I still have those days as a coach and a nutritionist. So it is just something that's human. I also love your mindset, like with the plateau you're in right now, right? You've lost a ton of weight, and it is so natural that your body goes through these ebbs and flows. Sometimes it's just in release mode and it's like, okay, I like you lose a bunch of weight and then you plateau a little bit. This is so common. We see this all the time. And it's usually just because your body is resetting and it just needs some time to recalibrate. And then, you're able to release some more as time goes on. And the biggest thing we say to people, which I feel like you are 100% doing and have this down pat, is just keep going. And and it will happen, right? It's just takes keeping up that consistency no matter what, right? It's not getting um, down on yourself because you're like, well, I was losing all this weight and I'm not anymore. It's totally natural. Your body is not a machine. I mean, it it is in some senses, but it's not like a robot, is what I
Yeah.
mean. It's not just going to consistently like lose. It's going to lose, plateau, almost
It is very
always.
frustrating. It is very frustrating, and if people are at
Yes.
that level, it is very frustrating. But I then have finally kind of come to terms with I've got to start investigating that. Maybe I do need to eat a little bit more veggies. Maybe I do need to start investigating, like, kind of what am I really doing? Like I kind of have to take myself to task a little bit, right?
Yes. Oh my God,
Okay,
absolutely.
let's see if these are really, Maybe I need to focus a little bit more on maybe the exact recipe because I'm really bad for not following the recipe. That kind of thing, or maybe I need to tune in a little more. So that's the stage I'm at right now. I'm starting to tune in a little bit better because I know I need to kind of head for the next. I have to convince my body to start releasing a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where our coaching comes in handy because, you know, if someone is in a plateau and they're like, I'm keeping it up, like but is there anything I could do differently? We'll take a look at what they're doing, right? What they're cooking and eating, and see if there's any small tweaks to be made, because it's generally not like a larger thing that needs to happen. It's just like one little tweak, maybe two little tweaks that they implement, and they start to see a little bit of shifting. And it's, yeah, all it really, and then keeping up the consistency of all the other habits that you've created over time. I love it.
And trust me, it will become just what you do.
Yeah.
It will. Trust me, people. Anybody listening to this, it does become just what you do. You know, it's just habit. It becomes habit.
Yes. That's why we start out the 21-day healthy weight reset with like resetting your habits and your mind. Because if you don't start building that foundation early on, it's like it becomes, right, you start, you're like, I think I'm doing it right, but unless you really shift those habits, it's not going to happen.
Well, and that's what I mean by building capacity. Like, I think
Yes.
that's one of the pluses of the program, is that it builds capacity. It builds your skills and like all the way through.
Yeah. Well, Nina, thank you so much for joining me today. Is there anything else you want to share?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, that's about all I got to say, I guess. Yeah. If I can do it, anybody can do it. That's for sure. I love, my favorite quote is, "She believed she could, so she did."
Yes, it's a brilliant one.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Nina.
Well,
And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching this video, this beautiful interview with Nina Baker, one of our members in the Homemade Method Cooking Club, and someone who's done the 21-day healthy weight reset.